Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, damsels and dingbats. This is your host, DM Renavion, coming at you with another short chit chat video. I should really start just calling these unimportant update videos, but since I'm chittering and chattering, it is what it is. Um, the big news so far is that we've got our Deadlands Hell on Earth campaign up and going. We had our first session of our first adventure the other night. We played for about 5 hours, 4 hours of actual gameplay, about an hour of taking breaks and bullshitting and shit like that. And that's normal for any of my groups, honestly. But I have gotten the footage edited, and it is up on the channel for those of you who haven't noticed. We do play twice a month, every 2 weeks on Saturday. So the plan is that I get the footage edited and posted to YouTube as quickly as possible. So hopefully those will come out on Mondays, but they'll definitely come out earlier in the week if possible. It just depends on how much of a pain in the butt it is to edit the footage at the time. This footage took me 2 or 3 days to edit because initially I figured, okay, well, I'm going to put them up in smaller chunks. You know, we'll put up. It ended up being 5 roughly 30 to 45 minute videos, and I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, that's easier on the upload speed, but that's also a pain in the butt for viewers. I mean, a lot of people who post role-playing sessions like this, their videos run between the 3 and 4 hour range on an average. And most of the people, to my experience, including myself, who listen to these, they don't generally sit there at the computer and stare at the monitor anyway. Usually they're listening to these games in the background while they're doing other things. So in that scenario, it's very common for them to listen to various lengths in separate sittings. So having longer videos for that, I'm fine with that. So I re-edited it, put it all back together, and I cut it down into 2 2.5 hour videos, close to 3 hour videos. And so I've got those up there. Feel free to hop over and take a listen. Like I said in the intro, they are more like podcasts. We use Roll20 online to game together because my friends Gavin and Kat, they're across the pond, so it's very difficult to get them, and it would be very expensive to get us all together at the same table to actually roleplay together. That would be cool, but yeah, I don't see it happening anytime soon. So anyway, there is that. Deadlands is now going, and it should be going up on a fairly regular basis as we play and make the recordings. What else? In general, the content on this channel is going to, I don't want to say suffer, but for those of you who don't know, my old computer, which was not the top-of-the-line gaming system to begin with, died. It finally just couldn't do it anymore, and we ended up having to go buy a replacement. And when we bought it, it was listed, it's a refurbished computer, and it was listed as a gaming system. And I don't know a lot about computers, so I mean, everything looked good to me. And I got all excited about it, and we got it, and this computer that I'm using right now is not a gaming computer. It's got a crappy graphics card. The hard drive is minuscule. I'm lucky I'm able to do this recording for you guys on it now. I am grateful for it. My life would be empty and boring and hollow and have to be completely reanalyzed and rewritten without a computer. So I'm grateful that I can still get online and post videos and do this and that, but the computer just isn't what it used to be when it comes to recording a lot of games. So I have been spending a lot of time looking for lower end games that I can run and record, so I should have some content out here and there. Going to try to get back to the point where it'll fit the schedule that I used to have. But it has become a little more challenging to find material that I can put up for you guys. So just hang in with me on that one. Um, Unfortunately, that does mean some games like the Batman Telltale series and the TerraTech series, they're going to have to be put on hold for a little while, at least until I can get a better graphics card for the system. But I will return to those first opportunity. Other than that, finally getting married to the woman that I've called my wife for the last 6 years. We've considered ourselves married the whole time just because we've been together for so long, but we are actually going to make it official next Valentine's Day. It's not going to be a big ceremony, but it is going to make it official. With the two of us getting back into our, devoting more time to our religious beliefs and whatnot, living together and sleeping together, and not being married, it's just better safe than sorry. Just make it legal. It doesn't change our feelings for each other. We still love each other. We still consider ourselves husband and wife, but now we're obeying the rules. So there is that. I consider the last couple months the curse of the hand. Interesting story there. Watching Facebook, I discovered that my uncle, whom I used to know reasonably well as a child, but not so much in my adult years. Not really an uncle, more of he was my dad's best friend, my biological dad's best friend when I was a kid, so we called him uncle. Anyway, he cut his finger off on his I think it was left hand, and I'm not clear exactly how he did it, but there were all kinds of photos up on Facebook and whatnot, and very shortly thereafter, my friend Dan messed his hand up. Like, he didn't cut any of his fingers off, but according to the pictures, it looked like he sure gave it an honest go. And so he had all kinds of stitches in his hand, and I thought it was ironic that they both suffered their injuries roughly around the same time. And I thought to myself, at least I can take my health. I can be grateful that I haven't messed up my hands. And of course, within a couple days of thinking that, I got an infection in my middle finger on my right hand. It started in the fingertip. I'm assuming it was from a failed finger trimming experience. I got one of those nasty little nails that hung up in the corner when you trim it, and you can't get in there with the trimmers, and all you can really do is just yank on it and hope it doesn't take half your freaking finger meat with it. Well, I thought I escaped. It stung, but I thought for the first few days after that I was in the clear. But then the fingers started hurting like really freaking bad. Like I had some of the folks over for role playing a couple nights after that for a birthday party for one of the role playing kids. And my finger hurt so bad, man. I was the biggest whining crybaby you'd ever heard. You'd think my hand had been run over by a truck with as much as I was crying. And I wasn't actually crying, but I was whining and complaining and just being a big ass drama queen. But I even had to end up taking one of my pain pills that I normally reserve for my back pain, just to get through the night. And the next day, the finger started to swell. Within 2 or 3 days, the fingertip between the first knuckle and the tip of the finger had swollen up like a tiny little water balloon. It looked like a little cherry tomato. It was all swollen. It was bright red. And it hurt like fuck. Excuse my language, but wow. I tried to push it off. I've had a lot of infections in my life, and to my experience, they usually run their course and then they go away. And I don't like going to the doctors. So I put it off and I put it off, and eventually it moved all the way up through my finger into the back of my hand, at which point I just couldn't do it anymore. So the wife took me into the emergency clinic, and they prescribed me some antibiotics and told me, you need to make an appointment with your doctor ASAP, or you could lose the fingernail. Best case scenario, the whole finger, worst case scenario. Well, shit. So that was Saturday evening. The soonest I could make a walk-in appointment with a doctor at my clinic was Monday. So I took the antibiotics, and they seemed to work pretty quick. By the time I got in to see a doctor, it wasn't my doctor. I had to, when you make a emergency call in, a walk-in appointment, you usually don't get your doctor. But I ended up seeing another doctor, and he looked at it and poked at it, and he did what doctors do and put it on the floor and stomped on it and did a little jig, and you know how it is. But anyway, he said that it was draining good and it was healing. He extended my antibiotics by a few more days, and he said it, basically gave me the, if it gets worse or if it doesn't get any better by next week, come in and see us. So I've been taking the antibiotics. The swelling's gone down. Right now, as I speak, I've got a big freaking ace bandage on my finger. I've been keeping antibiotic ointment on it. For the most part, it's healed. It's still a little tender and sore. I still have some difficulty doing some house chores because I have to keep the hand dry, or I have to keep the finger dry and clean. And it's hard to do dishes with an ace bandage on your finger, even using gloves. So, not to get too graphic about it, but there was one point, all that pus that had collected in the finger had drained out, but had been there so long that it had loosened the skin around my finger, and it got to the point where that actually sloughed off like an old Band-Aid. And, talk about gross. I mean, you're gagging now listening to it. Imagine me trying to clean my finger up. I thought I had freaking, not bubonic plague, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, right now the finger it's not swollen anymore. It's really red, and it looks like it's super agitated, but I think it's just the new skin. And it's retreated out of my hand all the way back out, and it's just very minor pain. Now I'm hoping within the next few days it'll be completely healed. So yeah, curse of the hand. Hopefully here next couple days I can get this stupid ace bandage off, and I'll be able to type like a normal person again. Not that I could do that to begin with, but hey. What else? Current video projects. Now that I've got more time, I'm going to be getting back to work on the Dungeon Master project, which has been stalled out for quite a while now. I need to go back over all the material and listen to it and take some notes and kind of remember where I left off in my process. And then I'll start getting some more videos put together. Once I have a beginning, middle, and an end to the series, I will go ahead and start posting them up. Then I may, there's all kinds of little tangent videos I can make. There's there's a secondary. Right now what I'm doing is kind of this is how I do my linear-ish style writing. But I can do another series on this is how you can do a more sandbox style writing. Again, there are countless videos on the internet about how to write campaigns for your role-playing games. Most of them are much better than I. It's not that I don't have the experience and don't know what I'm doing, because I've been running role-playing games and playing role-playing games since I was a child. I definitely know what I'm doing. It's simply that I have a lot more difficulty than a lot of people in putting my thoughts and my methods into words that can be used to instruct somebody else to get my meaning across. So it takes me a little while to do that. And again, the videos are going to be, this is how I do it, more so than this is how you should do it. So I will be getting back to work on the main line of that video series. Spring is technically here, but it's been raining and snowing, and it's been being Michigan for the last month or so. So I haven't really had the chance to get out of the house and go do anything much. But once the weather clears up and I'm able to get outside and we're able to go start doing things again, I intend on getting a couple more videos done up for doing the D. I have no idea where we're going to go or what we're going to do. I know we're going to the zoo, the Detroit Zoo, for Tara's birthday if the weather holds. So maybe I'll take some footage of that while we're there and I can get one of those up for y'all. But no promises. Once I have a better idea what's going on, I'll let you guys know in future Chit Chat videos. I'm going to be getting back to work with Bone Daddy Bob on his concert video. Unfortunately, we had, when the computer died, all of our footage was lost. So we lost a good 4 or 5 songs, a lot of footage and animation. So that's going to be I have to pretty much start from scratch project. And I'm still, the taste in my mouth, that bitter, just pissed off, I can't believe I just lost all this shit. That taste you get in your mouth is still fairly fresh. So I may not be getting back to that wholeheartedly. I'm not going to jump in it with a gusto for a while yet. I may tinker with it here and tinker with it there. But I still need to I still need to simmer on that a little bit. It's just one of those things that happens in life. But it don't mean I gotta like it. Speaking of the weather, still waiting on going fishing. I've got the worst case of cabin fever ever. Every time I try to get outside and go for a walk, or we plan on going fishing, every time we get up and go, it snows, or it rains, or it sleets, and it's just not happening yet. So here's hoping that one of these days here in the near future, I will be able to go catch me some fishies. Other than that, that's about all the new news I got to bring to you for now. I'm going to have to pop off here because the wifey just rolled in from work, so we got to go cook some dinner. But until next time, you guys stay safe. You guys have fun. I'm out.